All right, Jeannie, thank you. So here we are, all lit up and ready to go on a beautiful night in Cleveland, Ohio for Game 3 of this ALCS, Boston and Cleveland. And welcome to our broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck. That is Tim McCarver. We always talk about pitching during the postseason, and we thought coming into this series we'd be talking a lot about the starting rotation for each side, but so far only one guy stepped up and done something as a starter.
Yeah, particularly the first two games, I think everybody thought that starting pitching would dominate the first two games, but with the exception of Josh Beckett, that was not the case. It's going to be interesting to see how these two very tough lineups handle the starting pitchers for the next two nights.
Yeah, because now we're into the middle part of each rotation, and tonight it's Daisuke Matsuzaka against Jake Westbrook. Two right-handers ready to tangle. We will take a break. When we come back, give you the starting lineup for the Boston Red Sox. Baseball is right around the corner tonight. Game 3, ALCS on Fox.
Jonathan Papelbon with the Boston Red Sox. Here's our lineup for tonight. Leading off, the John Clayton lookalike, Dustin Pedroia. Batting second, Kevin Youkilis. Batting third, David the Large Father, a.k.a. Big Papi Ortiz. Batting fourth, Manny being Manny Ramirez. Batting fifth, Mike Lowell. Batting sixth, J.D. Drew. Batting seventh, El Capitan, Jason Varitek. Batting eighth, Coco Crisp. Batting ninth, Julio Lugo, and pitching the Japanese sensation Daisuke Matsuzaka.
He is a great one, a good guy, Jonathan Papelbon, the closer for the Red Sox, and that lineup brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. And that lineup is to be faced tonight by Jake Westbrook, the right-hander with a good ERA after the break. We get ready for first pitch. It's on the other side of this break. Beautiful night in Cleveland, Game 3, ALCS, Matsuzaka and Westbrook. Red Sox and Indians next. The ALCS on Fox, sponsored by Burger King, who reminds you to have it your way. By Levi's, the original, find your fit. By Sprint. And by eBay, shop victoriously. What a great night. Weather-wise, we have improved over Game 2, where it really got cold by the end of that 5-hour, 14-minute game. 69 degrees. And mostly cloudy. Might get some rain tomorrow night. And before first pitch, it's time for the Budweiser opening pitch. Budweiser, the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Open up a world of taste. Dustin Pedroia first up for Boston. And strike one from Jake Westbrook. There are the numbers during the regular season. He got better as the season went along. And this 6 weeks with an abdominal strain was on the DL. Two quick strikes. 190 average out of the leadoff spot for Pedroia. Youkilis will follow, and then David Ortiz. One away. What should we look for tonight from this right-hander Westbrook?
Look for a lot of ground balls. If Jake is throwing the ball effectively, the Red Sox will try to lay off the sinker. Try to make him get the ball up like Johnny Damon of the Yankees did when he hit the 3-run home run in the 5th inning of the division series. And the Sox looking to the lefties. They have 4 in the lineup to do the damage tonight.
Here's a right-hander, Youkilis, and the big first baseman takes a strike. Game 3 of that divisional series at Yankee Stadium. Westbrook went 5 innings, allowed 6 runs on 9 hits. Dropped down a little bit there, and that slider misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's why the home plate umpire is Brian Gorman, and that's the person who will be deciding these pitches on the edge for obviously not only Westbrook, but for Matsuzaka, who tries to keep the ball out of the middle of the plate all night. 2-1. 3-1.
Youkilis, his last time up against Rafael Betancourt with the potential winning run on at second base. An 11-pitch at bat in the 9th inning of Game 2. Grady Sizemore making a fine play to retiring.
Full count. Both managers were aware of who was behind the plate. The name Brian Gorman. Paul Emmel at first. Cedarstrom, DeMuth, Randy Marsh, and Kerwin Canley down the right field line. A one-out walk. Our MasterCard keys to the game here in Game 3.
Both the Indians and the Red Sox hoping that another starter will emerge. We talked about it in the opening. Most people thinking that starting pitching would dominate Games 1 and 2. It did not, with the exception of Josh Beckett. And the Indians, with that win, I mean, they're thinking, hey, you know, if we go to Boston and win one game, that'll be great. They won one game and have momentum back here at the Jake.
Here is instant momentum for the Red Sox, David Ortiz. He has a 10-game postseason hitting streak.
Walking momentum right here.
Big shift on the infield for Ortiz, and he takes a strike.
He's going to be a tough guy for Westbrook to handle because David Ortiz is one of the most lethal low ball hitters in the American League, and Westbrook, to be effective, has to keep the ball down.
8 out of 13 swing in the bat, 2 homers, 3 RBIs, and 9 walks for Ortiz, who hits a laser. That's Cabrera out at second and out at first. What a double play. Fantastic play by Asdrubal Cabrera, Casey Blake, the third baseman, and Garco on the end of it. Westbrook loved it.
Hi, welcome to Cleveland for the ALCS. I'm Ryan Garco. Here's our starting lineup for tonight. Batting first, our center fielder, best looking guy in Cleveland, Grady Sizemore. Batting second is our young second baseman, 10-year vet, Asdrubal Cabrera. Batting third is the DH prompt, Travis Hafner. Batting fourth is our catcher, best RBI baseball player in town, Victor Martinez. I'm batting fifth, playing first base. Batting sixth is our shortstop, the quiet wonder, Johnny Peralta. Batting seventh is the mayor of Cleveland, Kenny Lofton. Batting eighth is our right fielder, the Red Sox killer, Trot Nixon. And batting ninth is the bearded man, Casey Blake. Pitching tonight is our sinker ball specialist, Jake Westbrook.
Thank you, Ryan. And the starting lineup for the Indians brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. And Ryan Garco already has had an impact on this game as Matsuzaka hits the strike zone with the first pitch to Grady Sizemore. Asdrubal Cabrera, Travis Hafner will follow, and Sizemore was a huge part of the Game 2 win for the Indians at Fenway. 3 out of 5 in that game, homered, doubled, scored 3 runs. 1 ball, 1 strike. According to Terry Francona, he told us that Matsuzaka is a wild card going out there. In other words, he doesn't really know what to expect. He's got great stuff. He did not pitch well down the stretch. That's too far inside. It's 2-1. Sizemore is the guy who started the game-winning rally in the 11th inning with a base hit off Eric Gagne. That's up the middle to his left. Lugo, what a pick. The throw got him to start the night. Good on both ends, and we've seen some leather flashed here in the first inning.
I think Matsuzaka may have put some leather on it, just the webbing to slow it down a bit, but what a play by Lugo. Already 4 outs, and 3 of the 4 outs have just been terrific. Fine play by Julio Lugo to get the dangerous Sizemore.
First of all, just to get there. Secondly, to get rid of it as quickly as he did, get anything on that throw.
Going across his body.
Here is Cabrera, 1 out, nobody on. And the fastball is fouled out of play. Let's go back to the top of the inning and the double play that ended it.
Well, the interesting thing is Cabrera was playing on the infield. Normally for David Ortiz, the second baseman will be playing in shallow right field, but a fine play by Cabrera on the pivot. Good play by Casey Blake, the third baseman, because of the shift, and the best play was by the first baseman, Ryan Garco.
Here's the end of the play with Garco keeping his right foot on the bag and getting that in-between hop. And Jake Westbrook appreciated that effort to end the inning, and that means that Manny Ramirez will lead off in the second. Here's an 0-2 pitch to Asdrubal Cabrera. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Daisuke Matsuzaka is a legend in Japan. 108-60 was his record while pitching in his home country. 2.95 ERA, was the MVP of the World Baseball Classic in the spring of '06. And a $103 million tab delivered to the Red Sox when they brought Matsuzaka to Boston. Got off to a great start, but his ERA is over 7 for the last 2 months. Could not get through 5 innings in his divisional start against the Angels. The 2-2. A strikeout for Matsuzaka. 2 out, nobody on. Travis Hafner coming to the plate. The ALCS on Fox, sponsored by XM Radio, with Major League Baseball, every team, every game. By Charles Schwab. We're taking the sting out of investing. Talk to Chuck. Charles Schwab. By Dick's Sporting Goods, every season starts at Dick's. And by Avis, we try harder. A look at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame here in this great city of Cleveland, Ohio. And with 2 out, nobody on, Travis Hafner steps in. 3 for 8 in this ALCS. With 2 out, nobody on, he takes ball 1 low. The statistics for the home plate umpire Brian Gorman, mapped out over the course of the season, would tell you that he is more of a hitter's umpire, with the number of pitches that hurlers throw during his games. He has a tighter strike zone. This is a Questech ballpark, which is an umpire grading system that they have installed in this stadium and others around Major League Baseball. There's a look at it as they grade the performances. So they have tried to make home plate umpire strike zone more uniform across Major League Baseball. Gorman a little tighter than some of the others, which brings the ball back to the middle of the plate, and Hafner was ready for that one. 2-1
in a game dominated by numbers. Even umpires have ERAs now. Brian Gorman's earned run average is 5.11. That's 4th in baseball.
Who were the other 3? Jerry Davis, Larry Vanover, James Hoy.
Of course, there are a lot of other factors that figure in. I mean, what pitcher he's pitching, he's behind the plate for that day. What ballpark.
On the outside corner, and the count evens 2-2. But for a guy like Matsuzaka, who is trying to live on the edges of the plate, and while he's got a very good fastball, he's got a lot of junk that he throws up to the plate as well. It is a factor. It's what the Indians will try to do to Matsuzaka, as some of the Red Sox hitters have done to Cleveland starters so far in this series. That's on the outside corner. Good pitch by Matsuzaka. 2 strikeouts in the first. Good start for the right-hander. No score after 1. To the hill. No score after 1 inning. A walk and a double play behind Westbrook in the first. Now Manny Ramirez, who was a star with the Cleveland Indians, digs his way in and swings through the first pitch. Ramirez, Lowell, and J.D. Drew for the Red Sox here in the second. The numbers are staggering when you start to go through exactly what Manny Ramirez has done individually, and then what the 3, 4, and 5 hitters have done for the Red Sox this postseason. 1 ball, 1 strike. This is just in the ALCS for the middle part of the lineup. Ortiz, Ramirez, and Lowell combined 9 for 21 with 2 home runs and 12 RBIs.
One of those home runs tied the game by Ramirez, and Mike Lowell hit the other one and it put him ahead.
Westbrook drops down a little bit again, and the count 2 balls and a strike. Overall, Manny Ramirez is hitting .400 in his last 22 games against the Indians with 28 RBIs and 9 home runs in those 22 games against the team that brought him to the big leagues. What a rip. 2-2. Had years in Cleveland where he hit 45 home runs, 44 home runs. Did that in 98, 99. Jump to the Red Sox for the 2001 season. Full count. 8-year, $160 million deal. And there are his overall career numbers against the Indians. But they're pretty good no matter what team you line up.
Jeff Morad, who is now one of the owners of the Arizona Diamondbacks, was his agent and negotiated that contract with the Red Sox.
3-2 pitch. 93 good zip on the fastball from Westbrook. Still a full count.
Ramirez swinging at the first pitch, fouling it off, and the 3-2 pitch fouling it back. You can tell a lot by the way a hitter takes a certain pitch or the way a hitter fouls the ball back. He is really locked in.
A leadoff walk puts Ramirez on to start the second. So Westbrook issues his second walk, and the batter will be Mike Lowell, who's done this in the ALCS, and overall .353 in the postseason. We mentioned it, did so in Game 1, that he is a free agent to be, and it's got to be a big priority for the Red Sox to bring him back. And if it's not him, then they have a definite hole over at third base. Big run producer bats with Ramirez on and takes a strike. Lowell led Terry Francona's Red Sox with 120 RBIs during the regular season. That's up the middle, hard hit, base hit. Manny Ramirez will stop, and it's 2 on with nobody out here in the second.
That's one of the biggest differences between Mike Lowell now and 5 or 6 years ago when he was playing for the Florida Marlins. He'll go up the middle now. He'll go to right field now. Big double to right field at Fenway Park. Well, the Red Sox with 2 on and none out here in the second.
And what it does is it presents J.D. Drew with an opportunity here in the second inning to get something done. It's been a very disappointing first year for J.D. Drew with the Red Sox. Takes a strike. J.D. signed a 5-year, $70 million deal after knocking in 100 runs last year with the Dodgers and then opting out of his contract. He had the ability to do. His agent is Scott Boras. Same as A-Rod. And Drew grounds one weakly to the right side. Garco kicks it and the bases are loaded. So the bases are loaded with nobody out. It's an error on Garco and the first error of this ALCS.
I think Garco, once the ball touched the glove, he was headed toward first base. You feel the ball like that and the pitcher's not there, then it's the pitcher's fault. I think he was trying to do too much. The ball came up, almost hit him on the wrist. Then he falls down. So an error on Ryan Garco. See, Westbrook would have been there. But Ryan needlessly trying to go to first base too quickly. Now the Indians really in trouble.
And Jason Varitek has the opportunity. So far for Varitek, 1 hit in this ALCS. Strike one. 1 for 10 is Varitek, 2 RBIs and just 3 for 21. A 143 average during the postseason. Ramirez walked, Lowell singled, and Drew reached on the error. One ball, 1 strike.
Here Varitek right here, look for the ball down. Westbrook and the Indians, 3 double plays against the Yankees, 1 in each of the first 3 innings. He needs 1 here.
Varitek pops it up. Not deep enough to do anything except goes out number 1. Lofton makes the catch. The throw home, 1 away. So now Coco Crisp, as the Red Sox for the 8th time have loaded the bases in 2+ games in this series.
Varitek's got to be very upset with himself after missing that fastball. That was a fastball that was flat. Wasn't the normal sinker that Westbrook features.
And now the former Cleveland Indian Coco Crisp, who hit 300 here in his last season with the Indians in 2005. Hit 16 home runs, drove home 69. Waits for the first pitch. Strike 1. So thanks to a walk, a single, and an error, the bases are loaded with 1 out now. Strike. It's the number 9 man, Julio Lugo, on deck. A packed house, but a very quiet Jacobs Field. Wondering what that error in this inning is going to lead to. 2-1. Might be. Peralta steps and throws, and what a job by Westbrook to get around the error. Double play into the first, and this one ends the second. Bases loaded, nobody out for Boston. They don't score. The ALCS on Fox, sponsored by Budweiser. Reach for a Budweiser, the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Open up a world of taste. Daisuke had a good first inning, a couple of strikeouts with a good popping, moving fastball, and his first pitch to Victor Martinez in the second. 92 floats away for ball 1. Martinez, Garco, and then Johnny Peralta. 4, 5, and 6 hitters for the Indians. A couple of intentional walks late to Victor Martinez in game 2. On the inside corner, borderline pitch, 1 ball, 1 strike. Favorite athlete growing up, Ozzie Guillen, a fellow countryman. Favorite TV show, Curb Your Enthusiasm. His favorite road city is Kansas City as he fouls it off the hands in the count 1-2.
How about that? One of 4 Venezuelans on the Indian roster, and his favorite television show is one that features Larry David.
It's a good combo.
Very funny man.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Victor. In his last 10 games against right-handed pitching, he's hitting .448. Red Sox walked him intentionally in the 11th and in the 9th. Tells you what they think of Victor Martinez. That is over but low, 2-2. Pretty good zip on these fastballs from Daisuke Matsuzaka. Breaking ball is grounded to Pedroia. Has time to back up, make the play, 1 out. Daisuke, who as a younger boy started actually as an outfielder, had some good power, and then when he got to the mound, look at some of these numbers. A 250-pitch, 17-inning game. And there's more to that story. Remember the 2004 Olympic bronze medal team for Japan, 2006 World Baseball Classic MVP. And here he is in his first season with the Red Sox. I said there's more to it. He threw 250 pitches in a 17-inning game in the quarterfinals in the National High School Tournament back in '98. Then 2 days later, he throws a no-hitter in the championship game, and in between he had 1 inning of relief.
He likes to throw. Started warming up tonight a half an hour before the game instead of the normal 15 minutes.
Such a legend back home that at Yokohama High School, nobody has thrown from his mound on that practice field since 1998. 2 balls, no strikes on Ryan Garko, who lines a base hit into center.
A hanging breaking ball right over the fat part of the plate. Catchers don't catch those.
For the 27-year-old right-hander, Matsuzaka as his first base runner. Johnny Peralta, who has been sensational this postseason for the Tribe, steps in. Hitting .458 in the postseason. Strike 1. In his career, however, 0 for 6 against Daisuke Matsuzaka. Talking to Terry Francona before the game, he said, I think Matsuzaka next year is going to be like Beckett is this year. Beckett had an okay first year last year with the Red Sox. This year, the major's only 20-game winner. He's been almost unhittable in the postseason. And Matsuzaka is trying to find that groove. 0-2 the count on Peralta.
Terry Francona hoping Matsuzaka is like he was on June 24th when he pitched shutout ball for 7 innings against the Indians. Won that game 1-0, did the Red Sox.
That was here.
Right.
4 hits, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks, and beat CC Sabathia. First time out at Fenway was obviously not so good. 5 2/3. Allowed 6 runs on 12 hits. 0-2 the count on Peralta. Garko at first. And a breaking ball is fouled. Peralta has shattered his bat.
Take a look at the scouting report on Daisuke. Different pitches from different angles. And when we say different pitches, we mean them. In fact, Jason Varitek has to use his thumb for some signs. That's how many pitches and how many different pitches and Matsuzaka features. Red Sox trying to get him to come inside, said John Farrell. Coming up here. Watch Varitek stand up.
1 ball, 2 strikes now on Peralta.
When a catcher has to use his thumb to give signs, that means the pitcher has more than 4 pitches.
Or 5, more than 5.
Has more than 4.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'll be okay. That's strike 3 call, and that's strikeout number 3 for the man who has more than 4 pitches.
Well, he had the fastball to Travis Hapner to strike him out, and now he strikes out Johnny Peralta on a fastball. It looks like the Indians with 2 strikes are looking for the breaking ball. Red Sox have tried to get him to throw more fastballs so far early in the game. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, and I think if you're Terry Francona or John Farrell, you're looking at what's transpiring here, and you're thinking, okay, if he was a wild card going out there, they have to like what they see because he's getting strikeouts on that fastball.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They love Kenny Lofton here in Cleveland. 3rd time around with the Indians. The 40-year-old hits one into right field. Well hit. Back at the wall. Kenny Lofton has left the yard. What did Ryan Garco call him when he gave us the lineups at the start of the night? The mayor of Cleveland. And the mayor just went deep.
Situation looked like a veteran hitter going up looking for a fastball, trying to drive on the first pitch. He got it to put the Indians in front.
Here's Trot Nixon, the hero of Game 2 for the Indians.
Keeps hitting like this, he can run for governor. Fastball inside part of the plate, just out, right on top of the yellow line.
Now Nixon steps out. For Kenny Lofton, he was with the Indians on those great teams in the mid-90s. He left, went to Atlanta for a year, came back, and then he's been on this whirlwind tour around Major League Baseball. 8 teams, 6 years. Picked up from Texas during this season, the number 7 hitter, and he just thumped one. Three balls and a strike on Trot Nixon. Last postseason home run that Kenny Lofton hit was with the Yankees against the Red Sox. Nixon takes a popping fastball for strike 2. It was in 2004 Game 1. Up the middle, Lugo. A spin, a throw, and an out. And now here we go into the 3rd inning. First up is Julio Lugo, who, with all the action, has made 2 very good plays to his left. Went around, did Lugo. It's 0-2. Julio, during the regular season, hit only 190 on the road. Overall, hit 237, and in this ALCS is 1 for 8. To the right side, Garko backs up, flips, one away. So far, so good for Westbrook. Up above, aerial coverage provided to you by Goodyear. Get home in comfort with Goodyear Silent Armor technology. Goodyear based in Akron. And here in Cleveland with Jacobs Field all lit up. Below the blimp, here is Dustin Pedroia, who struck out his first time and is now 2 for 9 in this league championship series. Perfect positioning for Cabrera. 2 out. Tonight's AT&T trivia question: Daisuke Matsuzaka is the 3rd Japanese-born pitcher to start a postseason game. Can you name the other 2? With 2 out, nobody on, Euclid steps in and takes a strike.
Joe, Westbrook is getting the types of outs that he wants. Only 2 active pitchers throw more ground balls than Jake Westbrook. Brandon Webb of the Diamondbacks and Derek Lowe of the Dodgers.
Euclid into right, slicing to Nixon, and a quick and easy 3rd inning for Jake Westbrook. It took only 2 minutes. Very un-ALCS-like. How are we going to bounce back from that? 2-0 Indians. Number 9 man in the order for the Indians is Casey Blake. He leads it off. Sizemore will follow, then is Drupal Cabrera. For the Indians, who lead 2-0 on the home run by Kenny Lofton. He hit 7 during the regular season. Got his first this postseason and first since 2004. So far, Casey is only 2 out of 9 against the Red Sox. Two and 1. Matsuzaka during the regular season allowed 25 home runs. He allowed the hit and the homer in the second here in game 3. 3 and 1. Full count. A couple of interesting things happened during that home run, or actually just prior to the home run hit by Kenny Lofton in the bottom of the second. Blake reaches up and pops it into right for J.D. Drew. Royce Clayton is wearing a microphone for us, not on the active roster for the Red Sox. And Kenny Lofton took a while getting into the batter's box. Clayton was on him good-naturedly from the dugout.
Watch how long you take to get in the box. Get in the box! Get in the box! Let's go! Get in the box!
So that was from the Red Sox dugout, with Kenny Lofton taking a while to get in and face Matsuzaka. But there is more to the story, and Chris Myers, you have more on the story.
Joe, when Kenny Lofton came into the dugout with the Indians after homering, he was smiling from ear to ear, telling CC Sabathia, "I took my time going out there. Jason Varitek told me to hurry. Said I wanted to mess a little bit. I'm paraphrasing. I wanted to mess with the timing of Daisuke, because I thought that would throw off his rhythm." He said, "I wanted to get in his head," and he got in his head and hit the ball out.
All right, so Lofton was aware, and it was part of his approach going to the plate. It worked out. Royce Clayton was paying attention to it in the dugout, and you know that Jason Varitek is. He's the captain for a reason. If somebody is not getting in and getting ready to hit with his guy out on the mound, he will let them know.
I don't know if he got into his head, but he certainly got on his fastball in a hurry. First pitch fastball, home run.
And now with 2 out, nobody on, as Drupal Cabrera steps in. Hey, Chris, you're on national TV now, so let's pipe down now. First pitch is a ball up and away. Hey, thanks. Go back to sleep. Great, can't wait. 2 out, nobody on, 1-0 pitch to Cabrera. Jam shot foul, 1 ball, 1 strike. As Drubel talked about what he meant to this Indians lineup when he was added. And for Cabrera, his last 24 games, however, hitting .221. Trying to get something going here in the postseason. 1-1 pitch. Evidently what Chris was saying was heard only by us in our ears and not to a national audience. But I can only say that having Chris talking in my ear during the game is disconcerting enough. But he does have a bug story later. Here comes a 2-1 pitch to Cabrera with 2 out, nobody on, and that tight breaking ball is low. 3-1. After the DH on deck. The hesitation, the delivery, and strike 2.
Throwing his fastball more. You mentioned it earlier, Joe, that he tries to be too fine with all of his pitches, trying to shred the corners.
And a base hit into center on a breaking ball. Cabrera is on. Hafner is coming up, and we give you the answer to our AT&T trivia question. Daisuke Matsuzaka, the 3rd Japanese-born pitcher to start a postseason game. Can you name the other 2? Hideo Nomo and Masato Yoshi. Nomo game 2 for the Dodgers. 95, the 96 NLDS, and for Yoshi, the 99 Division Series and League Championship Series for the Mets. Here is Hafner. 1 on, 2 out. Travis struck out his first time.
We were talking earlier on that double play hit by David Ortiz in the first inning. Now Cabrera was actually on the infield, but now with Travis Hafner and 2 outs and no need of a double play, he's back into shallow right field.
1-0 pitch.
I said Cabrera. That is Pedroia, of course.
Two balls, no strikes on Hafner. Cabrera is on at first. Held on by Euclid. The rookie Cabrera did not steal a base during the regular season. Hafner went around. 2-1, just after the top of the hour, just after 8 o'clock in the East. We're happy to have you with us on Fox. Joe Buck, Tim McCarver, Chris Myers, and Ken Rosenthal. With you from Jacobs Field. Game 3, each side has a game. Red Sox won Game 1 behind Josh Beckett. And the Indians won a marathon, 5 hours and 14 minutes, 11 innings, Game 2, 2 nights ago. 2-run home run by Kenny Lofton in the second, after the Red Sox had loaded the bases with nobody out and did not score. Ball 3.
Three ball counts on 3 of the 4 hitters here in the 3rd inning.
That's the first walk of the night handed out by Matsuzaka. And it presents Victor Martinez with a 2-on, 2-out opportunity. Varitek goes out to talk to Matsuzaka.
The Indians have been phenomenal with runners in scoring position and 2 outs in the postseason. 15 hits and 37 at-bats. A .405 average. They've got a real RBI machine at the plate right now.
And it's not just with runners in scoring position, Tim. It's .351 overall with 2 out.
Wow.
So keeping innings alive, getting opportunities, and then hitting over 400 in this spot. 2 out, and at least 1 in scoring position. The lead man is Cabrera. He's at second. Behind him is Hafner, and at the plate is Victor Martinez. Strike 1, good fastball, outside corner. Victor bounced out to second his first time up. That preceded the hit by Garco. And then a 2-out, 2-run home run by Lofton. Ball 1.
Talked earlier about the right thumb of Jason Varitek. Very unusual signs given by Varitek for a guy who throws a lot of different pitches.
That one's wide, 2 balls and a strike.
And of course Varitek taping his fingers so Matsuzaka can see the fingers going down. That is standard procedure because a lot of pitchers aren't able to see because of the shadow between the legs of the catcher. Now it's Martinez that's taking his time getting in the box.
And Matsuzaka hops off the pitching runner. It's been a lot for Daisuke to adjust to, obviously, in this first year with the Red Sox. The language barrier, the difference in preparation for each start. Working once a week in Japan as opposed to once every 5 days here. 2-1 pitch. 3 balls and a strike. Full count. What a rip by Victor Martinez.
Keeping the ball away to Martinez because he was so far behind in the count.
Good pitch down and in, and the strikeout is the 4th of the night for Daisuke Matsuzaka. A hit, a walk, 2 left. Who's coming up for Boston? Ortiz, Ramirez, and Lowell. 2-0 Indians after 3. The ALCS on Fox, sponsored by WebMD. Better information, better health. By Liberty Mutual. Responsibility. What's your policy? And by the new AT&T. Your world delivered. Part of the order for Boston here in the fourth inning. That's Ortiz, Ramirez, and Lowell. And Westbrook has been very good through the first three. Second time through the lineup. We'll see how he does against some of these big bats. Ortiz is granted time by Brian Gorman. We had a chance to visit with the hitting coach, Derek Shelton of the Indians, and we'll give you that after Ortiz does something to start this fourth. The opposite way toward the corner, lofted back at the wall, and it's off the top of the wall for a leadoff double for David Ortiz. We'll hold off on our chat with Derek Shelton, and we'll give you another look at David Ortiz almost getting one over that 19-foot wall and left.
We talked about it earlier of what a good low ball hitter Ortiz is. He had a shot turned into a double play beautifully by the Indians his first time up. And now tremendous power the other way. And Joe, from a catcher standpoint, you look back over a game after 9 innings, and lineup management is so vital. And you think of those 1 or 2 innings that if you can get through those innings, then you got a real good chance of winning. This is one of those innings because you've got Ortiz, Ramirez, and Lowell, the 3 big guns for the Red Sox.
Right now it's Ramirez who walked his first time up. The Red Sox loaded the bases with nobody out in the second and did not score. Strike one. Ramirez walked. Lowell got a base hit up the middle. Drew reached on an error, but then Veritek hit a shallow fly to left. And Crisp bounced into a 6-3 double play. Hard hit, foul. 0-2. The 0-2 numbers are remarkable for Manny Ramirez. He's at .600 with an 0-2 count.
Most guys who say it's very important to get ahead with Ramirez doesn't matter.
He's at .400 overall with 2 strikes. What a postseason Manny Ramirez has had. Just missed.
Westbrook's probably saying, where was that pitch? Little low.
I think Cleveland is saying, where was that pitch? There are the numbers during the postseason for Manny Ramirez, and by the grace of the home plate umpire, Ramirez is still up there after that 0-2 delivery. Ortiz at second with nobody out. Just outside again.
We talked about it in the last 2 games, identifying what pitch is thrown and where it is. Very few hitters do it any better than this man.
To the shortstop, that hits Ortiz, and he's out.
That's a bad base running play by David Ortiz. If the ball's hit, the rule of thumb is if you're on second base and the ball's hit to your right, you don't run. So watch the ball being hit right there, and David Ortiz runs into it. So he's out. Ramirez is credited with a hit. But a bad base running play. Ortiz has no place to go there. If the ball does get through, then Peralta throws him out at third. Bad play.
And so now it's Ramirez at first with 1 out, and Mike Lowell at the plate. So it is a hit for Manny Ramirez, but not what he or the Red Sox were looking for as they lose the runner in scoring position, and a strike hits the outside corner to Lowell. Mike singled up the middle his first time up. J.D. Drew on deck. One ball, one strike. There's Drew, who bounced one to the right side, but was kicked by Garko back in the second. But Westbrook has made some very good pitches here in the early going tonight. The 1-1. Well hit down the left field line into the corner. It is foul.
Boy, was that ball clocked. First changeup that Westbrook has thrown, and Lowell out in front. Even though he hit it right on the screws.
So the count 1-2. Two balls, two strikes. Again, coming in, the Red Sox, they're 3 through 5 hitters in the lineup. .435 this postseason, 6 homers, 22 RBIs. The rest of the group, .227. Now it's full count.
I think you have to send Ramirez here to see what Terry Francona does. If you had a fly ball pitcher on the mound, you wouldn't send him. But because he throws so many ground balls, it's a good time to send Ramirez.
DeMarlo Hale, the third base coach, walked halfway down the third baseline to make sure Ramirez saw him give the sign. He is going, and Lowell grounds to third. Fair ball. Casey Blake's throw. 2 out. And now J.D. Drew. J.D. on the field during the regular season, hit .270, 11 homers, 64 RBIs. Went 24 out of 61 the last 18 games to make that average look a little better. Two for 8 in this series, and he takes his strike, 0-1. Jake Westbrook 6 and 9 during the regular season, not pitching like those numbers at all. Missing down and away, 1 ball, 1 strike.
You mentioned that he was on the disabled list with that abdominal strain for 6 weeks. And he came off the list and had a marvelous August. Earned run average was 1.90 in 4 starts.
Drew lays off. It's 2-1. Inning started with a double by Ortiz. He was out when the batted ball by Manny Ramirez hit him. Ramirez at second after the ground out by Lowell, and a 2-1. Under the hands, 2-2.
That was a good pitch right there. You're not in a pitch around situation right here. But Jason Varitek has not hit well. Only 1 for 11 on the ALCS.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Runner at second, 2 out. To the right side, may have hit the bag. It's a fair ball out at first. Garko with a good adjustment on that ball down the first baseline. Came back a little. Garco made the play. After 3.5, 2-0 Indians. Move into the bottom of the fourth inning here in game 3. 2-0 Cleveland out in front. And Ryan Garco, who's made an error but 2 very good plays at first base and has a hit and a run scored, takes the ball. Got a base hit with 1 out in the second. Scored on the 2-out, 2-run home run by Kenny Lofton. 1-0. Breaking ball in for strike 1. Garco in that key spot in the number 5 hole behind Victor Martinez in this situation, leading off in the 4th. On deck Peralta, then Lofton. Ball 2, 2-1. Then that means he's having a rough year football-wise. Notre Dame, favorite team growing up. A rebuilding year for the Irish. The 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball. In to get it is Lugo. Gets that high hop and throws on 1 away. Don't forget, coming up later tonight, game 4 of the NLCS at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, and that's on TBS. Matchup of Micah Owings and Franklin Morales, the left-hander, as the Rockies go for the sweep. There are the numbers for the 2 starters, and Owings is a very good hitting pitcher, one of the best hitting pitchers to come along in a while. Rockies up 3 games to nothing, and then tomorrow night back at it with a usual start time of 8 Eastern. 5 Pacific for game 4 of this series. Ball 1 to Johnny Peralta. Rockies have won 20 of 21 after winning 14 of 15 down the stretch to get into the postseason. And they haven't lost yet. 1 ball, 1 strike.
When Matsuzaka was signed, there was a lot of publicity, almost celebrity status, given to his gyro ball, G-Y-R-O. And he has not thrown that or featured that in the second half of the season. It's a little screwball is what it is.
Another good fastball from Matsuzaka, and the count 1-2.
One of the best visual explanations of the screwball once that I heard was just terrific. Most people turn the doorknob to the right to open the door. Well, if you had to turn it to the left, then you know what a pitcher is like when he throws a screwball.
At Peralta reaching for that 83-mile-an-hour pitch, and the count still 1-2.
Actually inverting your forearm, and the ball goes from a right-handed pitcher, goes away from a left-handed batter. He's thrown a couple of change-ups tonight, but I think he's canned that gyro ball.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on. Bottom of the 4th. And a nasty breaking ball. 5th strikeout of the night for Matsuzaka. We asked his pitching coach, John Farrell, about the good fastball that Daisuke is featuring tonight.
He really does, Joe, and I think the most important thing is the relaxation that he shows in his delivery has really allowed him to command a fastball to both sides of the plate.
And when you look at your overall pitching situation, the starters for the first 2 games, Beckett was terrific, Schilling a little rough. How's your bullpen set up tonight?
Well, with the off day yesterday, in the 11-inning game on Saturday night, we're at full strength, so we've got the ability to match up if the situation calls for it, and certainly Papelbon anchors it at the end.
All right, John, thanks for your time.
Okay, Joe.
John Farrell, the pitching coach for Terry Francona. There's a strike. Both played together here with the Indians in 1988 at the old ballpark. Jacobs Field has been around since 1994. And Lofton, who homered his first time up, has the count even at a ball and a strike. Kenny Lofton will tell you he is still searching for that ring. For Lofton, 11 times in the last 13 years that he has been in the postseason. He's doing what he can in October for his teammate now with the Indians, his third tour of duty with Cleveland. Anchoring the left field position for Eric Wedge and waits for a 1-2 pitch. Not hard hit. Pedroia makes the play, and we go into the 5th inning. Starting pitching better tonight here in Game 3. Indians on top 2-0. Home run, Kenny Lofton, the only scoring tonight. A 2-run shot. Veritek had a chance his first time up. Bases loaded, nobody out, and he popped up into shallow left. There's no score at the time. That was the top of the 2nd, and then Lofton went deep in the bottom half. Pretty good pitch. Westbrook does not get the call. 1 ball, 1 strike. Westbrook could not be pitching any better. Giving the Indians exactly what they need. He gets the call this time, and Veritek spins out of there. Strike 2.
I guess Veritek thought it was low or outside or both. He had a point.
Fouls the next one away. It's still 1-2. It's Veritek, then Crisp, then Lugo. Bottom 3 in the lineup against Westbrook, who has allowed only 3 hits. Same total for Matsuzaka, but one of them left the park. Broken bat, ground ball to Cabrera. As Drubel takes care of Veritek, we ask Derek Shelton, the hitting coach of the Cleveland Indians, about the 40-year-old Kenny Lofton and what he's done this postseason for the Indians.
Yeah, he's ageless. It seems like from the first day the postseason started, he kind of kicked it into a different gear. He's been here a bunch of times, and he gave us a lift tonight, so it's exciting. It seems like every at bat he has, he just keeps taking it to another level.
Without revealing too much, what's the overall philosophy against Daisuke Matsuzaka, who's working tonight for the Red Sox?
I just think the main thing is we got to make him be on the plate. He's a guy that commands a bunch of pitches, and I don't think that's really giving away any secrets. I think that's what a lot of people try to do to him. He commands a fastball, he commands a slider and a cutter, and he throws a changeup and split. So we're just trying to make sure we stay within our approach and keep him on the dish.
There are some who have said this could be an opportunity for Grady Sizemore to have a coming out party on national TV. You see him certainly much more than we do. This is a special athlete, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think it should be a coming out party for Grady Sizemore. I think people should realize that this guy's one of the best young players in the game. What he did for us in Game 2 and gives us a spark, but we're fortunate. We see this guy every night. He's one of the best players in the game. He's one of the best young players in the game. And they don't get much more exciting than Grady Sizemore.
All right, Derek, thanks for your time.
All right, thanks, guys.
That is Derek Shelton, who's the hitting coach for Eric Wedge. Meanwhile, Jake Westbrook has gone 4 2/3 scoreless innings, allowing only 3 hits.
14 outs, 12 on the ground. Actually 11 with a strikeout to Dustin Pedroia leading off the game. So when the Red Sox have made contact, they've only hit 2 fly balls for the outfield. Good news for Westbrook.
Check swing, ball 1, down and away to Julio Lugo, who bounced out his first time. Indians will have Nixon, Blake, and Sizemore against Matsuzaka in the bottom of this 5th. Another broken bat, another ground ball. Casey Blake takes care of Lugo. How good has Jake Westbrook been tonight? Bottom of the 5th here at Jacobs Field, 2-0 Indians. On Fox, sponsored by Chevy, an American Revolution. Chevy helps bring you the ALCS. And one of the areas here at Jacobs Field, which has seen so many fans filing through the turnstile here year after year after year, and the first pitch is a strike to Trot Nixon.
In fact, from 1995 through early 2000, 455 straight sellouts here. That ended in April of 2001.
There's the sign commemorating that. It is an intimate ballpark and a very nice facility. Indians during the regular season had a great home record as Nixon fouls it back and out of play. For Cleveland, they were the second best team at home, second best to the Angels, a game better at 51-29. The Liberty Mutual in-game box score for the Indians. Sizemore hitless tonight. Cabrera has a hit. The big swing is by Lofton, the number 7 hitter, a 2-run shot with 2 out in the second. It's the only scoring of the evening. The 1-2 to Nixon, 2-2.
Talking to Eric Wedge before the game, he said he will use late inning defense if the Indians have a late lead. Putting Gutierrez out there in place of Trot Nixon. This may be Trot's last at bat of the night.
2-2 pitch. Fooled him. Pulled the string, and Nixon becomes the 6th strikeout victim for Matsuzaka. And as we look at a replay of the strikeout, we bring in Ken Rosenthal of FoxSports.com. And Kenny, you have more breaking news down there, field level. Ken.
Yeah, Joe, over the past several weeks, there has been a sea change in Major League front offices with several longtime general managers departing. The latest will be Bill Stoneman of the Angels, who will announce tomorrow that he is stepping aside and will become a consultant with the club. Stoneman joins Terry Ryan, who resigned from the Twins, John Sherholtz, who became club president with the Braves, and Walt Jocketty, who left the Cardinals. His replacement is expected to come from within, could be assistant general manager Ken Forsch.
All right, Kenny, thank you. And we can keep you active down there, because it seems like when there's a spot open these days, this very place, the Cleveland Indians, is where so many teams are coming and calling on a lot of the front office personnel. This is a hot spot.
The Pirates hired Neil Huntington as their new general manager. He previously was a special assistant to Mark Shapiro. And the hottest GM candidate in the game right now might be the Indians' assistant GM, Chris Antonetti. He has turned down possibilities to interview with several clubs, the Diamondbacks, the Pirates, the Reds, the Astros. The Cardinals are interested in talking to him about their GM opening, but it could be that they keep their interim, John Mozeliak. Antonetti has not revealed whether he is interested in the job.
All right, Ken, thank you. And this one misses down and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Casey Blake. There's Mark Shapiro, who has a great staff around him. And the field manager here with the Indians is Eric Wedge. This is a very classy organization everywhere you look.
You bet.
2-2 pitch. Full count. It's Casey Blake now with Grady Sizemore on deck. 1 out, nobody on after the strikeout of Nixon. And I'll say it again, Matsuzaka has pitched well. First pitch fastball to Lofton that he hit out. He hasn't made many mistakes. Still a full count on Blake, who is 2 for 10 in this series.
Notice the second time through the order, Matsuzaka and Varitek going to more breaking balls, particularly to the right-handed batters. We talked about Dice K's fastball early in the game, and it was good, but he has resorted more to sliders here lately.
Line drive is a base hit over the head of Mike Lowell. Manny Ramirez gets to it. And Blake has a 1-out single. Grady Sizemore is coming up. How about some more about Grady Sizemore? Favorite TV show? That 70s show. Favorite athlete growing up? The great Bo Jackson. 2-sport star. Favorite vacation spot? Sydney, Australia. And he is supported here by adoring fans. Grady's ladies. And there they are.
That is great.
That one in the dirt. Blake was on his toes and down to second with good base running.
You have to move initially, as Blake did, and that ball was in the dirt. He saw it come up in the air. He took off immediately, and Varitek did not have a play. Ball actually going over the helmet of Grady Sizemore. Good base running by Casey Blake. Very alert.
So he's in scoring position with one out for Sizemore, who's 0 for 2 tonight. You heard his hitting coach, Derek Shelton, talk about what he meant to the Indians in game number 2 with his 3 for 5 performance, the home run. The 1-0. That's a foul ball, and it will get out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two postseason home runs for Grady Sizemore. The one in game 2, and then the home run that set the tone leading off game 4 of the division series at Yankee Stadium against Chin-Ming Wong. Two and 1.
John Adams on the drums.
The 2-1. 3-1. Pulled the string on Sizemore on 3 and 1. It's a full count.
We talked about the gyro ball last inning. That was it. See that little tailing motion going down. And that's that release, that inverted elbow. Turning the doorknob to the left.
3 balls, 2 strikes on Sizemore. Second walk of the night handed out by Daisuke, and the inning now belongs to Asdrubal Cabrera. And they're going to get on the phone to the bullpen down in the Boston dugout. John Farrell, the pitching coach, out to talk. Francona on the phone, and Asdrubal Cabrera is coming up. We play baseball here tonight in Cleveland, and we look ahead to Sunday. Fox NFL Sunday will get your day started. The Built Ford Tough. Fox NFL Sunday at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Doubleheader action, 49ers and Giants in New York, Vikings and Dallas, the big game late. Or other regional action. Check the local listings for the games and start time in your area as Mike Timlin starts to get loose. .91 pitches on the night for Matsuzaka. A hit, a walk here in the 5th inning, and Cabrera trying to make Daisuke pay for it. As Asdrubal singled his last time up, he's 1 for 2. Strike 1.
It's always a tough play for a guy like Mike Lowell, who has a runner on at second base, but he's got to play in for the bunt. And right before that pitch was made, he was looking at Casey Blake. You can't play too far in, because if you do, there you can see Mike looking at the runner at second base. And now to the hitter.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Play too far in, and that runner at second base, if he's a good base runner, he goes to third behind you.
All those pitches piled up to more innings earlier in the year for Matsuzaka. Struggle down the stretch for the Red Sox. Missing just inside here to Cabrera. 2-1. Blake, the lead runner at second. Sizemore on at first. Pretty good speed on with Hafner on deck and Veritek wants to get things straight with Matsuzaka.
And give Mike Timlin more time to warm up. Timlin, a ground ball pitcher, not necessarily is Matsuzaka. I think Terry Francona, if Cabrera gets on, you could see Timlin come in the game.
Four hits, 2 runs. Suzaka's walked 2, one of them in this inning, but he has racked up 6 strikeouts. Two and 2. All those strikeouts will cause a pitch count to jump up. Matsuzaka in that first start against the Angels in the division series struck out only 3. Still needed 97 pitches to get through 4 2/3. The middle, base hit off the bat of Asdrubal Cabrera. In to score is Casey Blake. It's 3-0 Cleveland.
Matsuzaka got the ground ball, but it was not at anybody. Just to the left of Dice K. It was a breaking ball. And past Dustin Pedroia. So not only does he drive in a run, but he drives Grady Sizemore to third base.
Blake scored easily. He got this started with a 1-out hit. A walk to Grady Sizemore, who went first to third, and Matsuzaka will stay in the game and face Travis Hafner. Strike 1 on a rare wide strike. And Hafner didn't like it at all.
Yeah, you could read Hafner's lips saying that ball was not a strike. He thought it was outside, and it appeared to be.
Ground ball to Pedroia. He'll step, throw, safe, and another run scores. 4-0. Francona's going to argue the safe call by Paul Emmel, the first base umpire.
What a terrific play by Dustin Pedroia. After getting down the line, watch the play by Pedroia. Not only on the short hop, the jump and the throw, and it appeared he was safe. Pedroia ended up about a third of the way to third base after the throw. Boy, that's close. He appeared to be safe.
I agree. I mean, you can't make a better play as a second baseman.
You can't do any more. No.
So Matsuzaka will stay in the game. Francona didn't agree, but Paul Emmel got the call right. It's an RBI force out off the bat of Travis Hafner, and now the batter is Victor Martinez. It's a small. Let's listen. I think the video is evidence enough that Hafner was safe.
Right.
It's a small point, but here's how clued in and on top of his game Terry Francona is. He told his first baseman Euclid to play behind the runner on his way back to the dugout after that argument. He knew who was coming up, and it's Victor Martinez who was in the hole 0-2. Three hits, 10 at bats. He's 0 for 2 tonight. He's grounded out, struck out. Two runs in the inning. RBIs by Cabrera and Hafner. And an 0-2 count on Victor Martinez. Just sticking the bat out and getting a base hit into left. What a piece of hitting with 2 strikes.
That really is a marvelous piece of hitting. A ball off the plate away. And if you're not thinking away, you're not going to get a hit like this. And that's going to be all for Matsuzaka.
Matsuzaka, the big investment. Brought over from Japan, 2 postseason starts in his first year with the Red Sox. He has not been able to give Boston 5 innings. 2 on, 2 out. Well, we talked to John Farrell, the pitching coach for the Red Sox, and he said that his bullpen is rested and ready to go. And here they are again, taking over in the 5th inning. This time it's Mike Timlin getting the call with 2 on, 2 out, 2 runs home, and the Red Sox down 4-0. Ryan Garco will be the hitter.
Mike Timlin with that hard, heavy sinker. He'll throw the slider occasionally, but for the most part, he stays with that sinker. Really doesn't need much more. Sometimes one pitch serves as several pitches because it's so alive and so electric.
Joel Skinner, the third base coach, reminding the base runners they're 2 out. And it's Garco who's 1 for 2. Ball 1 from Timlin. Garco scored on the home run by Lofton in the 2nd. Garco with a .500 average with 2 out this postseason, including his 1 home run. That's up and in, 2-0. Matsuzaka 4 2/3 inning against the Angels in Game 2 of the division series. 4 2/3 here tonight. 4 runs, 6 hits, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Strike 1.
But you hate to have a check swing, 2-0 or 3-1. You can understand a swing like this, 0-2 or 1-2, with 2 strikes on you. Garco goes too far.
Look at tailing action on that fastball from Timlin. 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, you have to be much more deliberate when the count's in your favor like that.
On the outside corner, 2-2. Garko thought it was wide. It looked wide, but it's called strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Timlin trying to end this rally right here. Full count. And the runners will go.
Two and 2 out, a big play with a slow runner on at second base. Gives Travis Hafner an extra 3 or 4 feet in case Garko singles.
Runners go. Garko rips it foul. Not much speed on the bases for the Indians, so they are helped with this 3-2 count to give them a head start. Hafner from second and Victor Martinez from first. Garko strikes out on a good Mike Timlin slider, and the inning is over. We go into the 6th inning. Top of the order coming up for the Red Sox. RBI hits by Cabrera and Hafner on the force out. 4-0 Cleveland after 5. This on Fox is sponsored by Verizon Wireless. Catch Fox Sports action on your phone with VCast from Verizon Wireless. Aerial coverage provided to you by Goodyear. Get home in comfort with Goodyear Silent Armor technology. First up is Dustin Pedroia. Back to work is Jake Westbrook. Top of the order for the Red Sox, who have not done much against this Cleveland right-hander. Did load the bases with nobody out in the second. Didn't do anything with it. Got a leadoff double from Ortiz in the 4th. He was hit by a batted ball. So was called out to put out to the shortstop, in case you're wondering on that play, scoring-wise, and Westbrook otherwise has been in total control. And much better than his Game 3 start at Yankee Stadium against New York. Strike 2 on Pedroia. Pitch count is terrific for Westbrook. Trying to get Pedroia to start the inning, and it's 2-2. Dustin has struck out, grounded out. Coming into this game, the Red Sox had been handed 12 walks by the Cleveland pitchers, only 2 tonight. And none since the first batter of the second by Westbrook. To his right, Peralta. One away. The game summary is brought to you by Verizon. Big swing of the night, the 2-run shot. With 2 out by Kenny Lofton. And then an RBI base hit by Cabrera. An RBI force out by Hafner. And the rest of the story is the guy on the mound for Cleveland, Jake Westbrook. And he starts Euclid with a strike. Euclid is walked, flied out. Ortiz on deck. And a base hit. Ripped up the middle by Kevin Euclid, on base for the second time tonight.
Bill, way back in the first inning, we gave you a scouting report on Jake Westbrook and said that the Red Sox would have to lay off the sinker. Well, they haven't. Jake has pitched very, very well, and the Red Sox have made 13 outs on the ground. 13 of the 16 outs tonight have been on the ground. So his sinker has really been working for him.
Here's Ortiz, 1 on, 1 out. Westbrook originally came up with the Yankees in 2000. Traded here from New York in the 2000 season, the end of July. Part of the trade that sent David Justice to the Yankees. Ricky Leday was a part of that deal as well, going from New York to Cleveland. Recently re-upped for a long-term deal in Ken Rosenthal. Westbrook and his agent have a unique relationship to the GM here in Cleveland.
That's right, Joe. Westbrook is one of 3 Indians whose agent is Ron Shapiro, the father of Indians GM Mark Shapiro. Now, both Shapiros are well aware of the potential conflict of interest, and when talking about Ron's clients, they leave the negotiations to others. Mark's assistant Chris Antonetti, Ron's partner Michael Moss. Trot Nixon and Joe Borowski are the other Indians represented by Ron, and like Westbrook, they say that they never question the integrity of either Shapiro.
Well, right now, it's an interested Mark Shapiro watching as Westbrook has run the count to 3-0 on David Ortiz. On deck is Manny Ramirez as the Red Sox look for some life here in the 6th. Swinging on 3-0. He flies it down the left field line into the corner and out of play.
I'm very surprised that the 3-0 hit sign was on for David Ortiz with the Red Sox trailing by 4 runs and Manny Ramirez on deck. But Terry Francona turned him loose and he fouls it off. That's very, very unusual. Unless a big hitter like Ortiz has a chance to tie a game or put his team ahead, rarely is a guy like that given a hit sign 3-0.
That's outside to put 2 on for Ramirez. First walk since the 2nd inning by Westbrook. 3rd of the night. And it's 2 on, 1 out. And Westbrook able to smile a little with Victor Martinez during their visit. Ramirez up, Lowell on deck, and the Red Sox trying to get on the scoreboard. Talked about Manny Ramirez and his history here with Cleveland. 236 of his 490 career home runs hit with the Indians, and as a young guy learning from Albert Bell, who was his teammate, how to set up the pitching machine to throw sliders down and away, and working on that pitch. One of the most consistent hitters in the game. Takes the ball, and I mean, it is just outside. Westbrook does not get the call. Every year the Red Sox have entertained offers for Manny Ramirez. After the 03 season, he was part of a deal to the Texas Rangers to get Alex Rodriguez in a trade that was nixed. And all he has done for Boston is reward them with big hits. The 2004 season, he was the World Series MVP. And he takes ball 3. He just will not swing at anything that's inches out of the strike zone.
Nope. and a guy who does not like to swing at a 3-0 pitch normally. And the Indians bullpen is up.
Jensen Lewis is the right-hander. Rafael Perez the lefty. Taking, and it's a strike, and Ramirez didn't like the call.
Ramirez thought it was inside, and it appeared to be.
Three balls and a strike. 2 on, 1 out. 4-0 Cleveland. Westbrook challenged him, and Ramirez couldn't put that fastball in play. Full count.
Hammers it down like a lot of Red Sox hitters have done tonight. That sinker of Westbrook has been his ally this evening.
Runners don't go, and Ramirez fouls it away. Got a home run hitter on deck, a big RBI man, and no surprise with the runners of Youkilis at second, and especially David Ortiz at first, that they're not running with 1 out and a 3-2 count. Double play ball to short. Bad hop. Peralta. Cabrera. Inning over. Still 4-0 Indians after 5.5. What a game here tonight at Jacobs Field, and what an effort by Jake Westbrook, the right-hander. 30-year-old right-hander for the Cleveland Indians. First up is Johnny Peralta, who's been involved in 2 of the 3 double plays that the Indians have turned behind Westbrook to help him out of jams. One against Coco Crisp in the second, and the latest one on a ball hit by Ramirez that came up a little bit on its final hop. A wide strike to Peralta, and what was a tighter strike zone early. There have been some more pitches given on the edges, and Manny Ramirez watched a 3-0 pitch that sailed inside, called strike 1, and that made all the difference in the top of this 6th inning.
That is a valid point, Joe. That 3-0 pitch was inside. It was called a strike, and that led to the 3-2 pitch and the double play ball. That pitch was inside.
2 balls and a strike. Peralta reaching for it, hits it to Lowell. But the double plays have certainly factored in, and there have been 3 turns. The one in the first inning, off the bat of Coco Crisp in the second, and the latest with 2 on and 1 out off the bat of Manny Ramirez. And the sinker is working for Westbrook tonight. Kenny Lofton started the scoring with a 2-out, 2-run home run in the second. Ball 1. Tomorrow night, the scheduled starters are Paul Byrd for Cleveland and Tim Wakefield for the Boston Red Sox. The story with Wakefield is interesting in that he has had inflammation behind his right shoulder. Had a cortisone injection there. Had a great year, 17 wins, but he has not worked since the 29th of September. He's thrown on the side. They've tried to simulate games. He was not on the active roster for the division series against the Angels. Paul Byrd was the winner in the clincher. Game 4 of the division series at Yankee Stadium for Eric Wedge. And the Indians tomorrow night could be facing Wakefield, who's been a big game performer for Boston. You wonder how healthy his upper back is when he gets the ball tomorrow night.
Don't know how it's going to pan out, but it could rain tomorrow. That is in the forecast. And if the game is rained out, then the Red Sox will have the option of bringing back Josh Beckett on normal rest.
A strikeout of Lofton, and that's 3 outs, 2 by strikeouts for Mike Timlin.
So the Indians, more than the Red Sox, are hopeful that tomorrow's game will be played. Lofton going after a bad high fastball from Timlin.
There's Trot Nixon. But I'll say again, just to throw out there what the possibilities are, because of the off day after tomorrow night, there's a scheduled off day here on Wednesday between games 4 and 5. These two managers at least had the option of bringing game 1 starters back on 3 days rest for the middle start. And then because of the off days, they could go back on regular rest to those game 1 starters, Sabathia and Beckett, for a game 7. The question that Terry Francona has to answer in the Red Sox as an organization is, if they lose tonight and they're down 2 games to 1, the word is, and he has been steadfast on it, that Tim Wakefield will start tomorrow night, but he could have the option of having Josh Beckett pitch 2 more games in this series if it were to go 7 games, by giving him the ball on 3 days rest.
We talked about it in game 1 and in game 2. And 25, 30 years ago, there would have been no question about it. Beckett would be the pitcher tomorrow night. But not nowadays.
There's the schedule. Game 4 Tuesday. Game 5 is Thursday. There's a strike, 3-1 to Trot Nixon. Josh Beckett was a winner, game 6 of the 2003 World Series on 3 days rest. And the MVP of that World Series when the Marlins beat the Yankees through a complete game in New York. Nixon grounds to the right side. Euclid takes it. For Boston in the 7th, down 4-0. Lowell, Drew, Veritek coming up. Back to Cleveland after a break from your local Fox station. The story of this night is Jake Westbrook. And Tim, you started the night talking about seeing if any of these starters are going to step up other than Beckett, and Westbrook has answered that call here tonight.
Has he ever emerged? 15 ground ball outs of the 18 recorded thus far, and Mike Lowell starts out the top of the 7th inning by hammering 1 foul on the ground. His sinker has been remarkable tonight.
You got a shot of Franklin Gutierrez, who takes over in right field to add to the defense. Trot Nixon is finished for the night. And Lowell pops it up. Cabrera hauls it in, 1 out. Boys and Girls Clubs of America is the official charity of Major League Baseball. Together, they create a positive place for kids. Nice night here in Cleveland. In the 60s and very pleasant. Tomorrow night, supposed to get some rain. Here's J.D. Drew. He grounds a base hit up the middle. Drew is on for the second time tonight, his first hit. And with 1 on, 1 out, Varitek will be the batter, and Jason's been frustrated tonight. And overall in this ALCS, 1 for 12. So it's starting to build under the skin of Jason Varitek. You saw him react, if you were watching closely, his last time up. And he bounced out to second to start the 5th. Screaming at himself in the dugout after flying to shallow left his first time with the bases loaded, nobody out. Javier Lopez, the side-arming left-hander, getting loose now as Westbrook. This is inside, ball 1. Westbrook really has already done what the Indians had hoped for. Anything more now is just icing on top, because they've got a great relief corps, especially the setup relief here with the Indians. He is into the 7th. That's foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. And 25 or 30 years ago, Tim, that wouldn't be said either, but
no,
it's a different world.
Yes, it is. Different baseball world in which we live.
As you look at the numbers, the postseason since 1995, there are the numbers as looked up by Ken Rosenthal for pitchers, starters on 3 days rest. It's certainly part of the discussion looking ahead, and Beckett, who lifted weights tonight prior to the game, is, from everything we have heard, and everything Terry Francona has said publicly, will not get the ball tomorrow night. It will be Tim Wakefield. That was coming into this game. Varitek hitless tonight. Two and 2. Ken, I know you looked up those numbers and have more thoughts about starters on 3 days rest.
Joe, with the Red Sox, one consideration, and a very important one right now, is that they want to keep Schilling and Matsuzaka on extra rest in this series. By keeping Josh in Game 5, they will be able to do that in 6 and 7. The other consideration is Beckett himself. His last 5 starts have come on 5 days or more of rest. This would be his 6th, and they want it that way.
Here's a fly ball to dead center off the bat of Varitek. It is gone. Home run, Jason Varitek. His frustration is over, and the lead has been cut in half. First home run of this postseason, and Jason Varitek shot one out to dead center field to make it 4-2.
You rarely see Jason Varitek, after a home run, raise that right hand, but he was pumped up rounding first base.
Now it's Coco Crisp digging in 0 for 2. Numbers aside and history aside, as you look at the pitch from Westbrook,
fastball that stayed up. Actually, not that much up. I mean, he went down to get it.
1 ball, 1 strike now on Crisp.
I mean, that was not It was the middle of the plate, but it was not a pitch that was biting down. You could almost see Westbrook after the ball was hit. He appeared to know it was gone.
I think the other side of the argument that Ken brings up, and we can bring Ken back in, is this. If the Red Sox fall tonight and are down 2-1, taking Schilling and Matsuzaka and what they hope to accomplish with those two aside, if I'm the Red Sox, I want Beckett getting the ball 2 more times in this series instead of 1 if I trail after 3 games. But to this point, that doesn't seem to be the way Terry Francona or the Red Sox are going to go. There's a strike. Chris thought he had walked, and it's a full count.
Yeah, Joe, that extra rest that Ken was talking about for Schilling and Matsuzaka, maybe this winter.
There's another borderline pitch at best, and Westbrook got the call. Full count. Coco Crisp keeps it alive. Ken, everybody you've talked to down there really doesn't seem to be much waffling at all, at least publicly by the Red Sox. The decision has been made.
No, I agree, Joe. There's no waffling publicly nor privately. And if it was any other pitcher but Josh Beckett, this would not even be much of a discussion. The only reason I think it is a discussion is Game 6 of the 2003 World Series, a brilliant performance by Beckett to beat the Yankees, clinch it on 3 days rest.
Did it at Yankee Stadium. Remember the grounder, the roller up the first baseline by Posada that ended it. It was dominant at the end of an incredible postseason for Beckett. A good NLCS against the Cubs. 3-2 pitch. Coco Crisp in a battle. Meanwhile, in this game, we're in the top of the 7th inning. Indians came into this frame leading 4-0, and Veritek has chopped that lead in half. And Crisp is trying to get on in front of the number 9-man Lugo. 1 out. And he strikes out. Only the second of the night for Jake Westbrook.
Fastball appeared to be outside, and Coco Crisp fouling it into the glove of Victor Martinez.
Sprint brings you the top pitch velocity for the starters. Matsuzaka hit 94 more than a few times, and Westbrook's been up to 93. But it's 93 at times with action on it. Good downward movement. And that's why he's been successful tonight. Strike 1 on Lugo. Lugo 0 for 2. Two from Westbrook. Ball 1. Leadoff man in the lineup for the Red Sox, Pedroia on deck. The Indians in the bottom of this 7th inning will have Blake, Sizemore, and Cabrera. Two and 2. Westbrook only 6 wins during the regular season. 6 weeks on the DL with an abdominal strain. A great month of August. An outstanding start here tonight. Left side. Slow roller and a base hit by Peralta.
How about Casey Blake? Gave up on that ball just a bit too early. That ball, if your third baseman's not going to field the ball, then the out's not going to be had, but I guess he had too far to roam.
Lugo gets the infield hit. The ball stayed down on Peralta. Veritek has homered in this inning, and now the tying run will step to the plate. Westbrook's night is finished. We remind you that tonight at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, Game 4, as the Rockies look for the sweep over the Diamondbacks at home. And then we're back at you tomorrow night, Game 4 at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. It's two rookies facing each other right now. Jensen Lewis on the mound for the Indians, and Dustin Pedroia, the rookie second baseman and likely AL Rookie of the Year, at the plate. Tying run at the plate for the Red Sox. Fastball for strike one. Pedroia 0 for 3 tonight and 2 out of 11 in this series. Hit 8 home runs during the regular season. Two quick strikes. And that's what Eric Wedge would hope for out of a rookie pitcher coming out of the pen. Any pitcher coming out of the pen gets strikes early. 0-2 on Pedroia. Rafael Perez, the left-hander. Rafael Betancourt, the right-hander, getting loose. Martinez trying to pull it back. Ball one.
Yeah, specifically, Perez is getting ready for David Ortiz, to be followed by Betancourt for Manny Ramirez if the Red Sox get that far. Fastball just misses to Pedroia.
Youkilis hit 16 home runs during the regular season. He's on deck. 2-2. It's really only over the last couple of months of the season that Jensen Lewis stepped out in front in the mix down in that bullpen for Eric Wedge, and he has handed him a pressure situation, a guy with not a lot of experience. Pedroia down the right field line, slicing out of play. Pedroia has been relatively quiet in the postseason, but during the regular season, he got a lot of big hits for Boston. Veritek has made it a 2-run game here in the 7th.
Pedroia fouling off everything to the right. If you're Jensen Lewis, you don't want to throw him anything off speed. Jensen telling us today his changeup is actually his best pitch. But right now, that's not the time for it. See a guy fouling ball off the other way. You don't want to speed up the bat head by throwing him something off speed.
An infield hit by Lugo. He's at first, 2 out, and a 2-2 count on Pedroia. slicing into that same spot. Don't forget, as we have done every night and will continue to do immediately following tonight's game, post-game coverage, Chris Myers, Harold Reynolds, Jim Leyritz, Ken Rosenthal. Press conferences, highlights, analysis. You can also join him for a live early pregame webcast every night, including live batting practice starting an hour and a half before game time throughout the ALCS and the World Series. Jensen Lewis comes in and slams the door on the top of the 7th. West Box is sponsored by the National Association of Realtors. Your voice for real estate. By Taco Bell, where a little flavor goes a long way. Think outside the bun. And by Chevy, an American Revolution. Aerial coverage provided to you by Goodyear. Get home in comfort with Goodyear Silent Armor technology. A Nissan game summary as we prepare for the bottom of the 7th inning with Blake, Sizemore, and Cabrera coming up. Kenny Lofton, a 2-out, 2-run shot in the 2nd inning. Veritek went deep in the 7th. In between, the Indians added a couple, and Westbrook got through 6 2/3, allowed 2 runs on 7 hits. We promised you the story about the Bugs. The last time the Indians played here was against the Yankees, Game 2. Jabba Chamberlain, everybody bothered by the Bugs. Fausto Carmona.
Well, a junior bug comes in the month.
And let's go down for that story to Chris Myers.
Well, Joe, the Indians hope that nature and science is on their side because it's unseasonably warm. And you talked about the weather. The bugs develop on the lake patch and then come in for mating. So tonight they were expecting more bugs because of the warm weather. Fans received a packet of a kind of a cover that would keep the bugs away. The team has a special spray. The Indians have stay away because they said the bugs attacked the Yankees more than they did them. And the local newspaper, the Cleveland Plain Dealer, said a cutout of a midge, which is the actual bug. It's a fly and that type thing for some fans to wear. So tonight they don't need it, but in case they do, at least so far, fans think global swarming is on their side. And Joe, we also, that's the bug report. We have the farm report later, and I do bar mitzvahs and Halloween parties.
Thank you, Chris. He's a beauty. And we're glad he's with us during the postseason, as well as Kenny Rosenthal, who told us earlier in this night that Bill Stoneman will step aside as GM with the Angels. We saw Hideki Okajima. He takes over in the bottom of the 7th. Tail end of his tremendous year. And he misses down and away to Casey Blake, ball 1. Blake is 1 for 2, 3 hits and 11 at-bats during this ALCS. Sizemore will follow, then Cabrera. Red Sox and the home run by Veritek made it a 2-run game. One ball, 1 strike. Breaking ball in for strike 2. In the top of the 8th inning, the Red Sox will have Euclid, Ortiz, and Ramirez. So many times the save can come in the 8th inning. With those big bats scheduled, there has been action for the Indians in their bullpen. Jensen Lewis got out of the top of the 7th. Betancourt and Perez have been getting loose. 1-2 pitch.
That would not be an official save, of course, if the Indians went on to win the game and retiring those big bats in the 8th inning. But it would be more important than the 9th. That is an excellent point.
Meanwhile, the rookie Jensen Lewis rewarded Eric Wedge with good stuff, quick strikes, and eventually a strikeout to Pedroia to end the top of this inning. still 1-2.
Talked about it the other night, about how Okajima severely jerks that head toward third and down. Actually picks up the target before he throws. But it's amazing that he has the control that he does with the head movement away from the target like it is.
To the left side in the hole, Lugo. Good play. Julio Lugo's played a good short tonight. Casey Blake 1 for 3, and Grady Sizemore will step in.
Look at the head jerk toward third base. And it's got to be one of the reasons for his success. You talk to right-handed hitters of the Indians, and they say, you think the ball's on top of you, but it's not there yet. You're often out in front, or you're behind it. Very, very difficult motion with which to contend.
Sizemore hitless tonight, walked and scored in the 5th. Those 2 runs in the 5th inning, now the difference tonight. They took it from 2-0 to 4-0, and it was an RBI base hit by the rookie Cabrera, who's on deck as Drupal Cabrera. Then a force out bounced into by Travis Hafner, plated the other run. Okajima taking a moment behind the mound, and while we play here in Cleveland, they will be playing shortly out in Denver, where the Colorado Rockies, who have won 20 of their last 21 games, are 1 win away from getting to the World Series, up 3-0 over Arizona. TBS has the game, and the bullpen for the Rockies has been almost unhittable. 2 earned runs in 23 innings. And your Torrealba hit the game-winning 3-run home run last night in Game 3.
Well, you hear about a lot of young hitters with the Rockies, but an unheralded bullpen.
Strike 2 on Grady Sizemore, 1-2. Anchored by Manny Corpus, their closer.
Colorado Rockies have never played in a World Series. They are 1 win away.
1-2 pitch. Sizemore lifts one into center field. Back is Chris at the track to haul in out number 2. Deepest part of the park. 2 out, nobody on. Bottom of the 7th, and for the Rockies, their first season, 1993. Eric Wedge was one of their draft picks in the expansion draft in '92, and they are on that list. They can eliminate themselves. The teams that are in the league right now who have never been to the World Series. 1 of 5 at the moment. The Indians last won a World Series in 1948. There's a strike. They lost in '95 to the Atlanta Braves, that one World Championship that those great teams was able to win, and then in '97 to the Florida Marlins, that extra inning loss in Game 7.
Tommy Glavine, the pitcher, in Game 6 in '95, and then Edgar Renteria with the big hit in extra innings in '97.
Reaching for that breaking ball is Cabrera. Crisp is there, and now the big half inning coming up for each side. Top of the 8th, Euclid, Ortiz, and Ramirez coming up against the Cleveland bullpen, with the Indians leading at 4-2. Cleveland against Kevin Euclid, the two that hooked up in that battle in the 9th inning of Game 2. Fastball for a strike. Euclid got to 2 strikes and then fouled off 6 straight 2 strike deliveries from Betancourt and eventually lined out to center. With a winning run in scoring position to end the 9th. Indians won it in 11. Andy Belcarmen getting loose for Boston in their pen while Euclid takes ball 1. Among all active players, no hitter sees more pitches per at bat than Kevin Euclid. We saw 11 in the 9th inning of game 2. He pops it up here right side, might stay in play. Just out of the reach of Garco. One and 2. Ripped down the line foul. How terrific was Rafael Betancourt 2 nights ago in game 2.
Working his longest outing of the year. He allowed 1 hit, working 2 1/3 innings of scoreless ball. And this looks like foul balls chapter 2. Euclid with an uncanny ability to foul balls off. The tough pitches with 2 strikes.
This time not the fastball, and Euclid gets a piece of it. Euclid all coiled up at the plate. Bat held high. Right hand sliding up and down the bat. Waiting for a 1-2. Tough to put away. Sweat just dripping off the bill of that helmet. 5 straight foul balls, and it will be at least an 8-pitch at bat this time around. He's having a tough time with that sweat. It's dropping right into his eyes as he waits for these pitches. Ortiz and Manny Ramirez will follow.
To something off speed, did Betancourt. A ball out of the strike zone to retire Euclid, and what a big out that was. Down out of the strike zone. Looked like a changeup after all of those fastballs. Only fastballs the other night, fastballs tonight, until that changeup out of the strike zone.
So Betancourt keeps the bases empty with David Ortiz stepping in. Ortiz rips one into right, into the glove of Franklin Gutierrez. Could not hit it any harder for a guy who's been bothered by a sore right knee. He has been so hard to retire in this postseason, and he is thinking, man, I can't do any more than hit it right on the screws, which he did. So 2 out, nobody on. And the batter is Manny Ramirez. It's the wall of fame out in center field. Part of Heritage Park here at Jacobs Field. With 2 out, nobody on. Manny Ramirez takes a strike. We are at Jacobs Field, game 3 of the ALCS. Series tied at a game apiece. What we have witnessed is a 2-out, 2-run home run by Cleveland and Kenny Lofton in the bottom of the second. 2 more runs in the 5th. A 2-run shot by Veritek in the top of the 7th. That's made it 4-2. Manny Ramirez tonight has a walk, a hit, but he's bounced into a key double play. The 0-1 from Bettencourt. It's down the right field line, slicing out of play. And if you're just joining us, the start tonight by Jake Westbrook, the 30-year-old right-hander, 6 2/3 innings, 2 runs on 7 hits. Two on Ramirez. One ball, 2 strikes.
$47,000 umpires in this park thought it was a strike, but not so.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Manny Ramirez. On deck is Lowell. Playable right side. Cabrera ends the inning. Indians trying to take the advantage in this series. Lead it by 2 after 7.5. Frustration for the Red Sox, who trail it 4-2 to the bottom of the 8th. ALCS on Fox, sponsored by Miller High Life. Good, honest beer at a tasty price. By Sharp Aquos, the official HD of Major League Baseball. And by Transformers. Own it on DVD and HD DVD Tuesday, October 16th. That's tomorrow. Let's see, it's 10:16 on the scoreboard clock here. First pitch is supposed to be 10:18 out in Denver. Micah Owings against Franklin Morales, game 4 of the NLCS on TBS. First pitch is a ball to Travis Hafner. Second inning of work for Okajima, who had a perfect 7th. Hafner is hitless tonight, takes a breaking ball that drops in for strike 1. Joe Borowski is getting loose for the Indians out in their pen. Thinking about the bats of Mike Lowell, J.D. Drew, and Jason Varitek, who will hit for Boston in the ninth. Fastball, ground ball to Euclid. One away. This detail of the game is brought to you by Sharp Aquas, official HD of Major League Baseball. Bring the details home and Tim, for that rookie Jensen Lewis to stop what momentum was building for the Red Sox after the home run by Varitek and come on and strike out Pedroia. Just another member of that bullpen that's done well for Eric Wedge.
They have been terrific. Of course, that bad outing by Perez when he gave up the 3 runs. But other than that, they have just been terrific. The bullpen of the Cleveland Indians.
Now Victor Martinez, 1 out, nobody on.
Oh, no swing!
And no swing for Victor Martinez. Tomorrow night's home plate umpire Paul Emmel over at first. Martinez 1 for 3 with a single, a strikeout, and a ground out. Two and 0. Eric Wedge, Carl Willis. Good combination in the dugout for the Indians. 3-0 is the count.
Okajima in his second inning, he is not used to working more than 1 inning. He has worked 2 innings or more 3 times this year, and the first time since July 7th. Has to work 2 innings tonight. That's why Manny Del Carmen's up.
That's wide, a 4-pitch walk to Victor Martinez. One of these stranger occurrences as you look at Terry Francona coming out. He's going to go to the bullpen. John Farrell makes sure that they're ready out in the pen with Ryan Garko coming up. It'll be Del Carmen. We'll give you a replay of an odd occurrence earlier in this game. When we come back, Del Carmen into the action in the 8th. Terry Francona's made a pitching change. Earlier in the 4th inning, David Ortiz hit by a batted ball, his left leg. In our WebMD injury report, Ortiz with a sore right knee this season, a cortisone shot early August, staring at surgery procedure in the offseason. For more information on injuries affecting your team, visit WebMD.com. Meanwhile, Manny Del Carmen takes over, and that good Del Carmen fastball is hit foul into the seats by Ryan Garko. This guy has emerged and is really getting the outs that the Red Sox thought they might be getting from Eric Gagne when they picked him up from the Texas Rangers. Gagne was the losing pitcher in Game 2. And he is now at the back end of this bullpen for the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, you have to wonder after the other night what it's going to take to get Eric Gagne back in a ball game here in the postseason. A ball game of significance, or a situation of significance.
Another good Del Carmen fastball. It's 0-2. A lot of us here in the booth are thinking about our good friend Earl Buck, who was watching from the hospital, and we wish he was sitting here at the Jake with us.
Oh, yeah.
0-2 is the count on Garko, who has a hit tonight. 1 on, 1 out, no balls, 2 strikes.
Oh, no.
1-2. On deck is the right-handed hitting shortstop, Johnny Peralta. (4-2), the Indians lead it in the bottom of the 8th. Just blown right by the bat of Ryan Garko. 2 out.
Del Carmen, a fastball in the mid-90s with an excellent changeup. That is a wicked combination. A good high fastball and the slow changeup.
Peralta checked into this game at the start, hitting .458 this postseason. If he were to maintain that, that would be the best average by a shortstop postseason history. Right now, that honor belongs to the great Alan Trammell, who hit .419 back in 1984 with the victorious Tigers.
Alan now the bench coach for Lou Piniella and the Chicago Cubs.
So Borowski's ready. We'll have Lowell, Drew, and Veritek in the ninth. There is the other half of that devastating combination for Del Carmen. It's 0-2.
Paint the outside corner with a fastball and then throw that changeup. Tough combination.
Martinez at first, and Del Carmen comes in and strikes out both batters he faces. Who's coming up? We've said Lowell, Drew, Veritek against Borowski. Joe Borowski has said, let him say I'm a white knuckle closer. Whatever it is, he has gotten the job done. He led the American League with 45 saves, even with all those power arms like Jenks and Putz and obviously Papelbon and Mariano Rivera and others. Nobody had more saves than Joe Borowski. First year with the Indians, and here he is trying to get 3 outs with a 2-run lead. Game 3 of the ALCS. Ball 1.
Part of that white knuckle reputation came from the fact that he had 69 appearances and 24 first hitters got on base. 24 in 69 appearances. That's a lot.
He's bounced around in his career. Came up with the Orioles in '95. Atlanta for a while. The Yankees. Was released by the Reds in 2000. And he gets Lowell on a pop-up. Garko. 1 away. Borowski was pitching in the Mexican League in 2000. Went to the Cubs in 2001. Kind of revitalized his career. Released by Chicago midway through 05. With the Devil Rays last year with the Marlins. And right now he's at the center of the baseball universe pitching to J.D. Drew. Foul. Strikes on J.D. Drew.
Chance of let's go Joe.
Late local news coming up, except on the West Coast. Post-game coverage on the internet. FoxSports.com. Ball 1. Veritek is homered tonight. 2-run home run in the 7th, made it 4-2. That's where it is now. 1 out, nobody on.
someone on the Red Sox perch down in a hurry.
Right at the end of his dugout.
Right. I think it was Josh Beckett.
Drew reaching for it into center. Borowski has taken care of the first two. Varitek 2 hits in this series, 2 out of 13. Two balls and a strike. Two and two. Good at bat by Varitek, full count. Varitek trying to extend it. On deck is Coco Crisp. Full count. 2 out, nobody on. That will get out of play.
One thing you want to do, of course, as a pitcher here is make Varitek hit to get on. You have to walk it up there and put it on a tee. Make him hit to get on.
Varitek is doing all he can trying to Either draw a walk, get a hit, and give the Red Sox a chance. Crisp on deck with as many as 16 home runs while with the Indians in his last season here in 05. Veritek pops it up. Casey Blake. Cleveland leads 2-1. A perfect 1-2-3 ninth inning for Joe Borowski. Our Chevrolet player of the game is the starter tonight, Jake Westbrook. 6 2/3, 2 runs, 7 hits. He had the sinker working all night. 3 double plays turned behind him, and in recognition of his outstanding performance tonight, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to Major League Baseball charities, Chevy and American Revolution. Let's go down to the field and Chris Myers.
Thanks. With Kenny Lofton, 3-time Indian, your home run set the tone tonight. I know you're always a confident player, but how would you measure the confidence of this Indians team, the underdogs, now up 2-1?
I think, the resilience of what these guys are doing right now, just going out there playing well and just, thinking about what they have to do as a team. And I think these guys are just going out there playing team ball, and it's unbelievable.
Ryan Garco in our lineups tonight called you the mayor of Cleveland. Tim McCarver said you could be the governor. You feel like you own this town right now. They're cheering you.
Well, right now, the fans are cheering us, and the fans have been unbelievable. And, during this playoff atmosphere, the fans have always been pretty crazy, and it's awesome.
A little gamesmanship at the beginning when you took your time at the plate with Dice Kid before the home run. The Red Sox were bugged by that.
Well, whatever I got to do to get them around, it'll work. And if that works, I'll keep doing it.
All right, and tomorrow night you get the knuckleballer, Tim Wakefield.
Well, it's knuckleball. He moves all over the place, but you just got to wait for it to flatten out. And once it flattens out, you just have to hit it.
You don't look 40. Do you feel 40?
No, I don't. I feel 25.
All right. Well, thanks again. All right, appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, Kenny Lofton. Maybe the third time is the charm here in Cleveland for him, Joe.
Oh, thank you very much, Chris. How proud must his mother, Annie Lawson, be? His grandmother, Rosie Person, watching in Cincinnati. 4-2 is the final here in Cleveland. Lofton a big part of it. Westbrook as well. Take a break and come back.